You are your own shop, your own identity. Now, I've been talking about leaving the UK. Now, this is the sort of stuff that I'll be doing when I leave the UK. Doesn't matter if I'm in the UK or not, this is what I'll be doing. So, I'm into plants. I know what grows and what doesn't. So down here, I've got a lot of the plants that I do quite well, like the Iberis and etc. and the sedums and the Cereoposis. Remember, when the weather gets too hot, there's a lot of flies you've got to be mindful of. High UV light stops you in your tracks of doing what you want to do. So today I've been looking for somewhere like an office to study. Now I found somewhere that might be do for a little while, because you know sometimes these structures take a bit of time to trap the heat in. So found a breakfast reasonably priced, £10.99 for large and a little bit smaller, so I should be putting the photos on here. Remember guys, you're your office. Right, what you do as your craft, you should be selling it to customers. Wherever you are in the world, you can do this. Just trying to, you know, get a bit with midges, etc. It's a bit rainy down there, so I can't really come down here, otherwise I'll show you. No, I'm going to show you what they are anyway. So ideally, this is the plants that I do quite well. I've been doing this for years now. So these guys, these suppliers, who's a big massive retail chain, do business with, you know, they're probably locked into contracts with the big suppliers, so they probably get the stuff from the big suppliers at a discount. Doesn't matter what they are, because they can still make a bit of profit even though if they can reduce them. So their profit margin's high. Now I used to work in retail. I was only a shelf stacker, just say Tesco, and whilst I was there I observed how the managers and head office walked around the site and documented what was a high profit margin sell and what was a low profit margin sell. So here is everything all down from the barcodes to the price of the structure and the space and the layout between the aisles. Now most of these people went round what I'm doing. Now I'm self-employed gardener. I'm doing it as a sort of different method. For me, I'm copying what they did whilst I worked at retail. The shelf stacker, the bottom. When you're at the bottom of your, you know, when you're bottom of the, you know, at the bottom, you see everything that operates on the shop floor. You can make quite a lot of money when you're on the shop floor. You can like do your reconnaissance in the background by get the rain, by analysing what's a high profit margin, and you'll see the prices going up and down as new stock comes and goes. Now the staff here, I've witnessed their psychology. They're not a happy bunch. They don't seem a very happy bunch. I saw some today handling the boxes. What am I trying to say? Let's just say what they sell at Quality Discounts and B&M or Wilkinson's if you're UK. They were sort of handling the boxes in a clumsy fashion. They were not really smiling as such. They were just going through the motions. Now there's a war on at the moment with Russia and Ukraine and the turbulence of the Gulf. So everything's just is on a bit of a price hike at the moment. So I have to take that into consideration. But the heat is just unbelievable in the UK at the moment. And just trying to say these are good. I'm not going to tell you every single plant because I sort of know what they are. I'll make lists, I'll show you what I do. But you know, I put some leaflets out this morning and it's just too hot. If I go back to the flat, it's too hot. The first thing I do in the morning when I wake up, I think that things are not going in my favour, things are against me. So I've got to go back to town later, pay off, put some money in the bank to pay off another storage charge which I need to pay today. So it's all a bit, you know, things aren't sort of working in my favour at the moment. I'll take you indoors. Now, since I used to work in retail, it's very important that you display your signs out correctly and get everything in position. For instance, special offers, the eye-opening offers is critical to attracting your customers to your stall, etc. And quite a lot of offers here, which is stuff that you can put out, like your home delivery. You can do home delivery and take home today, which is the small service charge which you can add to your clients. It's all about presentation at the end of the day, and sometimes when you've got a customer with a small little dog, that can sort of, you know, entice you to buy something, and you know, entice you for a distraction. You might find something that you like. As you can see, it's all seasonal. You've got to get all your seasonal gear in operation, like your barbecue here, which you've got to pretend that it's a special offer, put some silly gnome by it, and bingo, you've got a sale. I don't know why it's so hard to get jobs these days. All people got to do is do some reconnaissance. Earlier in the clip is they do the selling, I do the gardening and the weeding. That's my job with customers. So I've listed down all the plants that I see on a regular basis. 9.5 years experience now. Keep saying it in different, but just say 9 or 10 years as a ballpoint, and etc. So as you can see, it's all, if you want to do retail, if you're working a low paid occupation, follow this video, because this video will get you out. You might not have to manage your barking down your neck, but in exchange you've got another evil of survival. I've got to be careful here what I film, so I shall move on from here. You see, there's quite a lot of things that you've got to look at. Parties, for instance. When I used to work at Tesco's, I used to do all the shelf-edge labels. I put out there, make sure everything's all priced, make sure the shelf-edge labels on display and clear. But also the numbers really important at the end, because that's to do with the computer system, which is in stock control. They've modernised it quite a lot, but I worked in the 90s and early 2000s, so things are sort of changing. So here's what I was talking about earlier. See, if these places aren't too busy, they put the music on, because the music makes it a little bit more, you know, what they call it, makes it look a bit more busier. So even the music over the radio is really important. Now here we've got a lot of stuff here, which is the house plants, which are all on sale. I used to have, in fact, I'll tell you a little story. I did my work experience here when I was 16. It was called the Barn Garden Centre, but now it's called Cherry Tree. It's all stuff like that. This is what I do on a daily basis. Wherever I'm in the world, this is what I'll be doing. So basically, I've made, in some sort of way, I've cheated and left the UK. Because look, all I need is a bit of space, and I can get all these. For instance, a lot of these would do quite well, like cornflowers. Now they're a good hit. These are a good hit. The wildflowers, I don't necessarily order from there, but you know, a lot of these are hits, but a lot of people overlook these. I know this information because I'm in the gardening trade, or set up by myself. So let's talk about going down here, shall we? Now, The trick is to get these garden centres into profit. I know about these, I obviously study these places quite well, is to have a cafe. Now a cafe is a high margin for a place of this sort, because food always, you know, entices the customer to stay longer in the building. Can't really film it, but you see. And also with regards to retail, is the smell of the food has the transparent tends to spread in the particles of the air, so there's a bit of chemistry and a bit of pollination going on. For instance, let's just say these Venus flytrappers, you're an insect and they're technically being drawn to the whatever food, etc. And then these open and close. Put my finger in it. Right, that's what it is. They're there to trap you, get you into spending money. So, gonna have all sorts here. I think they're a little bit over-expanded here. It's got to be more than one partner that owns this centre. I don't believe it's one company that owns this, because the amount of merchandise that is selling here is telling me that there's other partnerships involved owning this site. I know this for a fact. Because I used to work in retail, and this place was just more or less garden and houseplants when I was there in the 90s. But now since it's been taken over, it's got a lot more of the stuff that is unrelated to gardening, which is non-relatable to gardening, whatever they call it, whatever you want to call it. So here they've got like the toys, the margins, the profit margins. As you can see here, the profit margins of the Caleface label is to go through the computer. They measure all the volumes from the barcode, and then that transfers to a computer, etc. And then the system automatically may order some more of the stuff in, depending what it is. Now head office will definitely know what to do with all this. So here is children's app, and then I'm just going to go through the checkouts now. Now there's a bit of psychology with the way they lay out the shop. See, that's what they've got there, the breakfast, 11:30 onwards. But the psychology is to walk around the shop and to get you going around the long way route, which I find it extremely annoying, to try and get you to buy some more stuff. I don't know what toothpaste has got to do with in a garden centre, but who knows. Wilkinson's went out of business, but at the same time they're sort of online. Like pot noodles, for instance, this is becoming more like Wilkinson's based. So basically people are losing, it's telling me that people are losing interest in, you know, the actual knowledge of plants. That's why these places have to sort of adapt into, you know, food outlets. It's rather peculiar really. And I think as time goes on, as time moves on, I reckon we'll see less and less of plants and more of this, because everything goes online. People become more automated into AI, and that means that, you know, the real knowledge which is done on the field is lost, and it's all relied on AI. So that's how it is at the end of the day. So I've done this video. We may make another extension to this, but I think I've explained myself quite well. Wherever you are in the world, if you want to get out the UK, at some point you're going to have to engage with this sort of mentality. Either get a stall going, or whatever your trade is, get some cakes. Not just going to make it up, but that's basically what it is. So on that note, adios. Northern Burdock spray. The Buddleia spray, more spray. Morning Glory down there, I'm going to spray that. I'm going to spray the yellow flower thing, herb bobbit, and willow verb is going to be sprayed. All the grasses down here, I'm going to knock them out. This needs to go every 2 weeks for now. Spray down the bottom there. See, my weed killer works. Done it last month, 12th of May. I believe you've got your bin in action, so I need to dispose that. Tell me when your bin goes out. I'm going to pull up the thistles. Anything else in this patio is going to be left sprayed. Got a lot of geraniums here that's self-set. I shall spray all that. Come and turn to dandelion, I'll spray that. This border's not too much weed in. Weeds in the patio will be sprayed, but you do have a lot of seedlings that are waiting for the opportunity to sprout. Again, each willow verb, we take 2 weeks to die, something like that. Miami ryegrass, I'm going to spray that. That's all clear down here. Needs to be sprayed. That's pulled that willow verb out. This blue grass here, which is come from Europe, that is a tricky thing to remove, so we have to constantly spray that and remove it. That really digs into the subsurface levels. Here's an example, that's all been sprayed. So that's the blue grass I treated, and you can see down here that's all been sprayed. That needs to be, sprayed, continuously sprayed. All this needs to be sprayed. That won't go like that, it's going quite quick. Erigeums down there, and then we just go down here. It's all nice and clear. That's not too bad down here.